Reading is thinking. We know this. We have been talking about this a lot. When we read, we are thinking all the time. We are thinking and making connections about the things that we are doing and things that we know about, experiences that we have, or connections with other books, things like that. So we know that reading is thinking. And when we're reading a book, we have different voices going into our heads, and I wanted to talk to you about them a little bit today. One of the voices we have is our reading voice. We use our reading voice just to see the words, hear the words, and get them into our minds. This is how we read when we're seeing the words on the page. Reading voice, we are using our reading voice in our heads, just seeing the words on the page. As we read, though, we start seeing our thinking voice, and that's when we start going, okay, what am I thinking about here? What do I know about this topic? What connections do I have with this? Oh, I remember that one time I had a similar thing happen to me, or there was an instance in a different book that I read that goes along with what we are reading right now. You use your thinking voice sometimes, not all the time. We don't want to be spending the entire time using our thinking voice and making connections about every word. We want to spend most of the time using our reading voice. We want to use our reading voice a lot. And then every now and again, stop to use our thinking voice. However, there's one other voice that we will see as we read, and we know that is our distracting voice. Very distracting. It's everywhere. It's keeping you from learning. And sometimes this distracting voice comes up as, I wonder what I'm having for dinner tonight. When are we going to recess? What time is it? What is going on with my neighbor over there? Distracting voice is distracting you from using your reading voice or your thinking voice. So we want to be doing these two a lot more than our distracting voice. So as you are reading, if you notice yourself with your distracting voice getting all up there, distracting you, you need to go, wait. I want to be listening to my reading voice and to my thinking voice. I want to be reading the story and thinking about what I'm reading, not being distracted. So, as you are reading today, remember that we are going to be reading Hatchet today, or maybe you've already watched that video where I read Hatchet with you. If you have, then make sure that you remember, as you are doing your reading log, to use your reading and thinking voices and not the distracting voice. Keep that in mind. If you haven't listened to the Hatchet reading today, then keep these in mind. As you're going through, if you catch yourself using your distracting voice, stop and read and think about which one you really want to be using. Use your reading voice to help you with actually reading the story, and use your thinking voice to make your connections. Okay? So I can't wait to see you guys during our Google Meets today. And if we've already had our Google Meets by the time you watch this video, I'm glad that I was able to see you, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Don't forget to bring your Chromebooks back to school. Bye!